What is up everyone, welcome back to another video. FPL Harry here. Game week 3 drawing to a close, and very thankfully because it has not been a good one for me so far. However, today we're looking ahead to game week 4 and my first transfer plans. What is up everyone, welcome back to another video. As I said, game week 3 drawing to a close. I'm recording before any of the matches have taken place on Sunday. I know the lineups, I know that my Brighton and my Chelsea players are all starting today, but I don't know any of the results and I don't know Manchester City. So if there are potential changes to my lineup going into game week 4, then that will be as a result of today's game. But today we're looking ahead to game week 4 and my transfer plans. So my team is lining up as it does on screen before any transfers have been made. Sanchez has come in, that Leicester defense looks so shaky. Ward is not getting close to my starting 11 ever again, I don't think. So happy with how Sanchez has done in game week 1 and game week 2. Hopefully he can get me some points going into game week 3 as well when they play away at West Ham today before this is being published. However, I'm not that hopeful, but I do really need some points given that I'm only on 15 so far with 4 players played. Again, in the defense, Trippier comes in as he was benched last week against Manchester City. I did decide to keep him. I could have moved to Perisic, but I decided against it and I really wish I had. Now that's still a transfer that I'm considering making, and Trippier is probably one of the players that I am looking to sell. Now game week 4 does see him have an okay fixture away against Wolves, but I could still move to Perisic. As you can see above me, I have 0.9 million in the bank and 1 transfer to play with. I made 2 transfers last week, selling Robertson to buy Reece James and selling Pedro Neto to buy Pascal Gross of Brighton as well. Of course, we have Reece James in there as well as Trent and Cancelo along with Trippier in my defence. Now, into my midfield, we still have Saka, and here's a big pain point for me. Not performed well so far with just 1 assist. The underlying numbers are not good for him as well. A lot of the attack for Arsenal seems to be going down that left-hand side. Martinelli, Jesus, and now Odegaard all linking up really well. When is it going to be Saka's chance and Saka's turn to get in on the points? Salah currently my captain at home to Bournemouth in game week 4. It's a great fixture. Let's see how they can get on as well in game week 3. He is my captain away at Manchester United. Again, I need some points from someone. And finally, we have Pascal Gross at home to Leeds. Still a good fixture. Again, let's see how they get on against West Ham in game week 3 as well. And then up front, it is still the main 2. It is still Haaland and it is still Gabriel Jesus. Jesus only getting an assist in game week 3, but he could have had so much more. Still the best asset, the most underpriced asset in the game. Him and Martinelli are competing for that title. He has reached the most highly owned player in FPL so far. If there's any of you watching that still don't own Gabriel Jesus, drop it in the comments down below because I'd love to know your thinking about why you don't still own him. Are you considering buying him for game week 4 as well for such a nice home fixture against Fulham? Again, this is how I'm lining up. I've got 1 free transfer. I'm looking at potentially selling Saka and Trippier are the 2 that I'm really looking at transferring out. On the bench, Patterson is there. I'm not loving him. That Everton team does not look good. Andres Pereira of Fulham at 4.5 is an absolute bargain. He picked up bonus points yesterday despite only having an assist in a 2-2 draw. That is almost unheard of unless your name is Cancelo, Reece James or Trent Alexander-Arnold. So at his price, he is probably going to stay in my team throughout the season, given that Fulham do look like a team who are able to score goals. And we'll talk potentially about Mitrovic in a moment. So let's have a look. Again, Saka is the one that I'm really looking at. Trippier in there as well as my potential transfers out. But there are some other forwards that I really wish I could own as well. So the first potential transfer out we have is Bukayo Saka. Now the difficult thing for me, I have every week so far when he's not returning, is the fixtures look so good. Fulham at home and Aston Villa at home in the next 2, it feels very, very difficult for me to go and sell him. However, some of the other options I could go and buy have looked really good so far. Now Kulusevski is in there again. Although he hasn't returned in game week 2 or 3, we know what that Tottenham attack can do. They have some really nice fixtures on the horizon, including Nottingham Forest and Fulham in their next 3 games as well. He looked really good in game week 1. I can't get to Son, I can't get to Harry Kane, so he could be a way that I try and cover that Tottenham attack a little bit. And then we have Luis Diaz. Since I've sold Robertson, I've freed up that 3rd Liverpool spot, and I could go Saka to Luis Diaz, and then that would also free up the space to potentially go and get an Arsenal defender in my defence because they seem to be keeping clean sheets for fun. And looking at Saka's fixtures, there's a good chance they keep a fair few clean sheets in their next 6 as well. And then the third one is a new player on the list that we've got here is Wilfried Zaha. Since the African Cup of Nations at the beginning of the year, he scored more goals than Mohamed Salah has, and he's not getting enough looking and enough attention than maybe he should do. Now, the fixtures are good. They do play Manchester City in game week 4, so I'm unlikely to buy him for that. So I could keep Saka for game week 4 and then move from Saka to Zaha if he still looks good. But at 7 million, it's a million saving that I could really do with investing elsewhere in my squad as well. So Saka is a player I'm really unhappy with in my team. I don't see myself selling him before Fulham at home, though. This is the real difficulty for me. So keeping him for one more week and then potentially selling him is the plan that I have at the moment. Now, another player that I am still considering selling that I decided not to sell going to game week 3 is Trippier. Now, game week 4 was one of the reasons I kept him, was for that Wolves fixture. Wolves has again failed to score in game week 3 against Tottenham, so there is a good clean sheet chance there. And he's on set pieces and has that attacking threat as well. However, the potential replacements are all looking so nice as well. We spoke about Walker again. He looks nailed. I could also go for Ake at Manchester City. Doubling up on that Manchester City defence looks great. They seem to be keeping clean sheets for fun at the moment. Cucurella again getting that start today at left wing back in favour of Ben Chilwell. Reece James playing at right centre back again today. Hopefully he can get some attacking returns, but if Cucurella is cheaper playing at wing back, whereas Reece James is playing at centre back, I feel I'm going to have to jump on that Cucurella train at some point. But the final one, the one that I'm really looking at, as we mentioned with the potential Spurs assets as well, is Ivan Perisic. 5.4, dropped from 5.5 at the start of the season because he didn't start either of those first 2 games as well. He's only going to go up in price now. They have a lovely run of fixtures with Nottingham Forest, with Fulham in their next 3 games as well. An absolute bargain. He's only going to go up in price. He's looked really good, got an assist, got a clean sheet, and got maximum bonus points in that game week 3 fixture. He could easily be in my team come the game week 4 deadline as my Trippier replacement. And then a few other players I'm considering buying. We have Mitrovic, we have Ivan Toney, and then generally the Arsenal defence. So as I said with Saka, if I sell him, it does free up a position that I could potentially go and get that Arsenal defender in. At the moment, I've got Saliba in here, but it could be Zinchenko, it could be Gabriel. White versus Tomiyasu, I probably wouldn't go with because I'm not exactly sure he's going to start. But Saliba getting that goal, and he's looked so good, I don't really think he's going to lose his place in that Arsenal team. Then we've got Ivan Toney, and those Brentford fixtures look so good, and he just cannot stop scoring. He's looked so good from game week 1. The amount of returns he's getting, plus the fixtures are only going to get easier. At his price at 7.1 million at the moment, it's likely to increase to 7.2 million this week as well. I feel it is very hard for me to continue to ignore him. Now, I could go in Buemo. He's not quite as expensive, not quite as good for returns, but on penalties, he seems to be so clinical as well. That Brentford team look really good. I expect them to have another good season in the Prem, and looking at their next fixtures, going into this without Ivan Toney feels a bit of a risk. And then, of course, we have Mitrovic. He's looked really good. Got that winner for them in game week 3 as well. Now, the fixtures on the horizon are not quite as good. He is 0.5 cheaper than Ivan Toney, but to be honest, I'm probably moving for the Brentford man based on that fixtures if I did want to go and get them. However, I have Jesus, I have Haaland up front, which makes it very difficult for me to go and get one of these 2 in. I could move, for example, up from Archer, but I'd have to downgrade Saka to a 4.5 million midfielder, for example, which I don't really want to go and do. So I'm keeping my eyes on these, but my squad structure just really doesn't let me go and do it. So this is my lineup for game week 4, and really at the moment I'm holding my transfer. I'm planning on holding it. The only thing I might do if Perisic looks like he's going to start again is Trippier to Ivan Perisic, but I think 2 transfers going into game week 5 where I could potentially bring in an Arsenal defender whilst downgrading Saka and selling Trippier as well is really what I'm hoping to do. So hoping to roll the transfer and go into game week 4 with my team looking like this, but I am eyeing up a lot of players who are scoring much better than the ones I've got in my team at the moment. Let me know what you think. Should I sell Saka? Should I sell Trippier going into game week 4? If you've got any questions about your team as well, drop them all in the comment section down below. I'll answer them all before the game week 4 deadline. As I always say, if you want to get your questions answered the first hour of a video being uploaded, I answer all my videos. So make sure you've got those notifications on and you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. Closing in on 30,000 subscribers. Help me out, help me get there. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be back again very soon.